You think it's harmless. It's private. Nobody talks about it. But for thousands of older men, the truth about masturbation came with a cost they never saw coming until it was too late. My name is Dr. James. I'm a board-certified men's health specialist with over 30 years of clinical experience. I've worked with thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. Many of them strong, proud, hardworking Americans. Veterans, fathers, grandfathers, who opened up to me in confidence about something they never thought would affect their health: masturbation. Here's what might surprise you. It's not the act itself that's the problem. It's what no one ever told you about how it changes with age. From hidden risks to hormonal imbalances, emotional patterns, and even dangerous myths passed down from locker room talk. The truth is, what worked at 30 can be quietly damaging you at 65. In this eye-opening message, I'm going to reveal the 4 most critical masturbation secrets older men wish they had known decades earlier. Truths that could have saved their energy, preserved their testosterone, deepened their relationships, and in some cases, even prevented prostate complications. This is not scare tactic talk. It's what I've seen again and again from real men with real regrets. Stick with me because secret number 3 is something even your doctor probably never mentioned, and it may be silently affecting your heart, sleep, and manhood without you even knowing. Before we go any further, if you find value in honest, age-specific health advice like this, I invite you to subscribe and tap the bell icon. That way, you'll never miss another tip designed with your stage of life in mind. If this resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0. Your feedback helps me serve you better. Let's start with the first truth, one most men don't realize until years of fatigue and frustration have piled up. Masturbation, when done the wrong way in your later years, can quietly drain your energy instead of restoring it. Secret 1. Masturbation can drain your energy if you don't respect the hormonal shift. After 60. When you were younger, an orgasm felt like a reward, quick, powerful, and followed by a sense of pride or relief. But now things have changed. At 60, 65, or 70, your body no longer bounces back the same way. Your hormones are shifting, testosterone production slows, and recovery takes longer. Yet many men continue to approach masturbation with the same intensity and frequency as they did in their 20s or 30s, not realizing the toll it takes. This isn't just about feeling a little tired after. For older men, regular ejaculation without adequate recovery can lead to a cascade of physical and emotional exhaustion. I've seen men come into my clinic complaining of persistent fatigue, low motivation, brain fog, even anxiety. They don't connect the dots, but the link is clear. Their sexual habits no longer match their body's needs. They're tapping into a system that's already running low on reserves, and each time they do, it's like drawing water from a well that hasn't refilled. The price they pay is steep. Chronic over-ejaculation can suppress natural testosterone levels even further, speeding up the aging process. Your strength declines, your sleep worsens. Your sex drive with a partner may fade altogether. And perhaps worst of all, your sense of masculine vitality starts to erode. You may begin to question your energy, your confidence, even your identity. And sadly, most men won't realize that their so-called harmless release has been quietly stealing from them for years. I've had patients tell me they feel emotionally flat after masturbating, not because they're ashamed, but because it no longer gives them anything back. They finish, roll over, and feel nothing. Or worse, they feel regret. That's your body trying to tell you something. This isn't working the way it used to. It's not about stopping masturbation. It's about relearning how to do it in a way that respects where your body is now, not where it used to be. The key is moderation, recovery, and awareness. Masturbation should leave you feeling more alive, not less. It should energize you, not deplete you. When done with awareness, it can still be a source of vitality, but when done on autopilot, it becomes a quiet thief of your strength. And that's just the beginning, because the next mistake older men make isn't just physical, it's mental. In fact, it starts with the screen right in front of you. Ready to face the truth about how porn might be rewiring your brain? Let's talk. If you're still reading and these insights are striking a chord with you, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're here and thinking deeper about your health. Now let's take a closer look at the second truth every man needs to know. Secret 2. Porn isn't harmless. It rewires the aging brain. Faster than you think. For years, older men have been told that watching a little porn is harmless. A way to unwind, to escape, maybe even to fill the gap left by a distant partner or the loss of intimacy. But what no one tells you, what most doctors never say out loud, is that the aging brain processes stimulation very differently. At 25, your brain had high levels of neuroplasticity, strong dopamine regulation, and faster recovery from overstimulation. But in your 60s and beyond, the same patterns of visual overexposure, especially to explicit material, can cause deep disruptions in your nervous system, hormonal rhythm, and emotional wiring. Modern pornography is engineered to hijack your brain's reward system. With endless novelty, high-speed visuals, and instant gratification, it trains your mind to crave more intensity, not more connection. And with age, the brain becomes more sensitive to this type of conditioning. I've had patients in their late 60s and 70s who can no longer respond to touch, real intimacy, or even arousal without the aid of a screen. Some have developed erectile dysfunction that isn't physical at all. It's psychological, deeply rooted in an overstimulated brain that no longer recognizes real pleasure. The price they've paid is tragic. Disconnection from partners, a growing sense of isolation, shame that keeps them from seeking help. One man, a 72-year-old retired firefighter, told me he hadn't been able to be intimate with his wife in over 2 years. "I thought it was just age," he said. "Turns out I trained my brain to only respond to pixels." For some, this even progresses to depression, social withdrawal, and a total loss of desire for life's real, tangible joys. And here's the part no one likes to admit. Porn doesn't just affect your sex life. It impacts your memory, your mood, your sleep. It eats away at your sense of confidence, of manhood, of purpose. It robs you not just of pleasure, but of presence. That's the cost. And the longer it goes unchecked, the harder it is to reverse. The good news is your brain can heal, but it starts with awareness, with taking control of what you feed your mind, not just your body. And once you do, something amazing happens. You start to feel again, to connect again. And for many men, that's when they finally realize what they've been missing all along. But even if you stop the porn and slow things down, there's a hidden danger most older men never consider. It lives inside your own body, and it's closer than you think. Let's talk about the role your prostate is quietly playing in all this. Secret 3. Ejaculation frequency affects your prostate, but not how you think. Most men over 60 have heard some version of the old advice, the more you ejaculate, the healthier your prostate. But like many half-truths in medicine, the reality is far more complex and dangerously misunderstood. While occasional ejaculation can help keep the prostate ducts clear, consistent overstimulation, especially without proper recovery or awareness, can actually lead to inflammation, tension, and long-term damage that many men won't recognize until it's too late. Your prostate is not just a valve, it's a sensitive organ that sits at the crossroads of your urinary, reproductive, and nervous systems. As you age, its resilience weakens. Overstimulating it through frequent ejaculation, especially when combined with a sedentary lifestyle, poor hydration, and high stress, can cause the tissues to swell, tighten, and even inflame. I've seen men develop chronic prostatitis not because of infection, but because they ignored their body's changing limits. They kept pushing, kept seeking that same release, unaware of what they were triggering inside. And the price? It can be brutal. Urinary urgency that wakes you up multiple times a night, a dull ache in the lower back or pelvis that never quite goes away, painful ejaculation, a weak or split urine stream, and perhaps most frightening, difficulty maintaining an erection because of pressure on the pelvic nerves. One of my patients, a 69-year-old former construction foreman, put it plainly, It felt like I was falling apart down there, and I had no idea why. But here's the real danger. These symptoms often build slowly. They're easy to dismiss as normal aging. By the time most men take them seriously, their quality of life has already taken a sharp dive, and in some cases, the damage is permanent. Sleep suffers, intimacy fades, confidence plummets, all because they didn't understand how to care for a gland that quietly runs so much of their physical and emotional well-being. You don't need to fear ejaculation, but you do need to respect its effect on an aging system. Moderation, hydration, regular movement, and pelvic awareness can go a long way in protecting your prostate, and if you've been living with discomfort, it's not too late to make changes that bring relief. Still, even with physical health in check, there's one more layer most men overlook, and it's not in the body but in the heart, because the next secret reveals why so many older men feel emotionally empty after masturbation, and how to change that for good. If you're still with me and finding real value in these insights, type 1 in the comments so I know you're engaged and thinking about your next steps. Now let's keep moving forward with the fourth and final truth every man should hear. Secret 4. Emotional emptiness. After masturbation isn't just in your head. Most men don't talk about this part, not with their friends, not with their doctors, and often not even with themselves. But it's real. That quiet, lingering emptiness that shows up after masturbation, especially when done alone, out of habit or out of loneliness. For younger men, that sensation often passes quickly, but as you get older, the emotional impact becomes heavier and far more dangerous. Here's why. When you masturbate, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals: dopamine for reward, oxytocin for connection, prolactin for relaxation. In a healthy, connected sexual experience, those chemicals bind to emotions, touch, presence, and intimacy. But when you're alone, and especially if you're using porn, that connection gets short-circuited. The chemicals still surge, but with nowhere to land. They rise fast, then crash hard. That crash is what leaves you feeling hollow, not just tired, empty. I've spoken to dozens of older men who describe the same pattern: a moment of release, followed by silence. Not peace, silence. They lay there, staring at the ceiling, wondering why they don't feel better. Some feel guilt, others feel sadness, and many just feel nothing at all. That's not weakness, that's chemistry. Your brain is asking for real connection and not getting it. The price paid over time is devastating. Prolonged emotional disconnection can lead to low-grade depression, apathy, isolation, and even memory loss. Men withdraw. They stop reaching out. They lose interest in companionship, in laughter, in life. I've had patients in their 70s tell me they hadn't hugged another person in weeks, that their only intimacy was a few minutes behind closed doors, followed by a full day of feeling worse than before. And yet they couldn't break the habit, not because of lust, but because it was the only thing left that gave them a moment of feeling. This kind of emotional starvation chips away at your identity, your joy, your reason to get out of bed in the morning. And over time, it's not just mental, it becomes physical. You move less, you sleep less, you feel less. That's the cost. But you don't have to live like that, because awareness is the first step, and now that you see the pattern, you can change it. You can break the cycle. You can start to feel again, which brings us to the next part of this journey, what you need to start doing today to reclaim your energy, your confidence, and your sense of connection. Let me show you what that looks like. What you need to start doing today. Now that you understand the real impact your habits can have, not just physically, but emotionally and hormonally, it's time to take ownership of your health in a way that truly respects the man you are today, not the boy you were decades ago. That begins with one essential mindset shift. Masturbation is no longer just about release, it's about renewal. And if it's not leaving you feeling stronger, clearer, or more connected, it's time to change how you approach it. Start by giving yourself space. Create moments of intention instead of defaulting to impulse. Don't just get it over with. Instead, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I bored, stressed, lonely, or am I truly listening to what my body needs? That one pause can break decades of automatic behavior. Replace urgency with presence. When you do choose to self-pleasure, slow it down. Turn off the screen. Use your breath. Focus on sensation, not stimulation. Learn to feel again, not just finish. Next, protect your energy like it's gold, because at your age, it is. If you're ejaculating daily or even every other day, you may be robbing your nervous system of the balance it needs. Try spacing it out. Give yourself 2 or 3 days between sessions. You'll notice more clarity, more focus, and in many cases, a stronger connection to your own body. Drink more water, move your hips, stretch your lower back. These small physical adjustments make a massive difference in how your pelvic floor and prostate function. Let go of the shame, but take responsibility. This isn't about guilt, it's about wisdom. Be the kind of man who evolves, who doesn't ignore the signs, who takes what he's learned and actually applies it. Because once you start doing this differently, everything else begins to shift. Your confidence comes back, your mind feels sharper, and the emotional emptiness, it starts to fade, replaced by a quiet kind of peace that many men haven't felt in years. And if you're still wondering whether any of this really matters, if it's really worth the effort, then the next few words are for you. Because in the final part of this journey, I want to leave you with something far more important than technique or science. It's a truth about aging that every man needs to hear before it's too late. Let's finish strong. The truth. Every man needs to hear before it's too late. If you've made it this far, then you're not like most men. Most men your age were never taught how to adapt their sexual health with time. They were told to be quiet, to handle it alone, to accept decline as just part of getting old. But I'm here to tell you something different, something I've learned from decades of listening, observing, and helping men just like you reclaim what they thought they had lost. You've now seen the truth. That masturbation, when misunderstood, can drain your energy instead of fueling it. That porn isn't just entertainment, it's a rewiring tool that can leave you numb and disconnected. That the prostate, often ignored, can suffer silently under habits you didn't know were harming it. And that emotional emptiness after release isn't weakness. It's your body crying out for something deeper, something real. These aren't just medical facts. They are life lessons pulled from the regret and redemption of thousands of men who finally faced the truth about how they were treating their bodies and their hearts. But it's not too late for you. Not by a long shot. Because now you know. Now you understand that your later years can still be filled with vitality, clarity, connection, and purpose. But only if you're willing to stop operating on autopilot. Only if you decide to listen to your body with curiosity, not frustration. With respect, not shame. This isn't about giving anything up, it's about learning how to use your own energy in a way that supports who you are now, more experienced, more aware, and more deserving of peace than ever before. What you do with this information is entirely in your hands. You can go back to the old way, keep the patterns, ignore the signals, or you can choose to take just one step forward, slow down, breathe, become more intentional, more connected, and more alive. The difference between the man who regrets his later years and the man who thrives in them often comes down to one thing: action. So don't wait, don't brush this off. You've just been handed the insight most men never get until it's already too late. Use it. Start today. Your body is still listening, your heart still matters, and your best years may not be behind you, they might just be waiting for you to show up. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Like it, share it with another man who needs to hear it, and leave a comment below. Your story, your thoughts, or even just a simple "I'm with you" can help someone else start their own path toward healing.